So Mandela, how are you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. How you doing, AJ?
Good. So how did you get involved with Reginald the Vampire?
Man, that's a good question. Um, kind of kind of typical for how the industry works right now, at least post COVID. I just got an email from my agent years ago, and basically I had this audition, and I was like, oh, this sounds kind of cool. You don't get to play someone who's been around for centuries every day. So I was like, oh, that's that's something I want to like actually look at and with the audition, you don't per se have the job yet. You're not getting paid. So it's really kind of taking it upon yourself to say how much time and energy do I want to put into this, knowing it's just a seed and it could grow to a plant or it could not. But I felt that the dialogue was really well written, and it's awesome because in our show there's a lot of nuances and things that if you're not ready for it, it'll just go over your head. But if you're an audience member who it's meant for, you'll catch that joke. And I thought they had for a show that was geared to young children. I thought, oh wow, that's kind of fun. Like this is interesting. So I had that audition and I kind of played with it a bit. And my granddad, prior to doing the audition, recently had passed not too long before, and I was like, wow, this is going to be an interesting opportunity to kind of channel some of his sayings. He always had those great, keep on keeping on, or he'd always tell me like, oh, you remind me of me. You're gonna be trouble, or stuff like that. And,
Right.
and some of these cool like older sayings I can kind of work into this character. And so I had a lot of fun shooting the audition. I popped a gold tooth in because I was like, no one else is gonna. He's been around since the '70s. He probably would have had at least worn it for a bit. And yeah, it was just a lot of opportunities to play with the character that you don't normally get. And then after that first initial self tape I sent off, we ended up doing the chemistry read, me and Jacob, and that was great. It really is important to kind of have that connection with the people you're meant to have that connection with on camera, because then you don't have to fake so much of it. If there's some real thing there you can build off of and develop a relationship, it always helps. So I think really after that chemistry read, the vibes were good, and shortly after, I got word that I booked it, and the rest is history. Here we are.
And after you booked it, did you have to read the source material at all, or did you kind of just create Maurice on your own with what
Oh
was given to you?
yeah. So that's a great question because there is the Fat Vampire books to kind of inform the series, and it's great. Jeremiah and Harley, they all kind of facilitated us getting in touch with Johnny, the writer, and so it was awesome to be able to ask him questions like, oh hey, so in this version, Maurice isn't the oldest vampire, where in the book he kind of is, and or one of them. And so those slight kind of differences and figuring out, okay, why did we change this here, and kind of just unpacking all of that. It's been fun and very informative to kind of get into the brains of the creatives and create with them.
And you also get to work with Savanna and Em as well as some other actors on this series. So how is it working with the other cast as well?
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I think everybody brings their a bit of themselves, which is nice. Em is so bubbly, and it kind of translates into Sarah, and Savannah just plays the realness of everything, which I think is great. She'll kind of we'll be filming and I'll look over and like that's funny, and I kind of gotta stay in character because sometimes you could just laugh at the stuff that's being said. So it's been a lot of fun to work with such a talented cast and a diverse cast too. I feel like we all bring a special piece of us and the community we represent to the set, which I think is great.
And without giving any spoilers away, what can audiences expect from the growth of Maurice in this season?
Wow. It's a good question, and a tricky one without the spoilers for sure. But yeah, we kind of end season one with this big change. You know, Maurice kind of goes from being an outsider, a lone wolf who made a friend in Reginald and wants to save him, to now being the deacon and kind of being in charge of all the vampires. And that shift, um, from kind of standing up against and standing up to the establishment and the status quo, to now shaping the status quo. I think Maurice is definitely trying to digest that and make sense of it.
Well, Mandela, thank you so much for joining us in Infamous Horror today. It's been so fun, and congratulations.
Thank you, AJ. Appreciate you.
So, Jacob, how did you get involved with Reginald the Vampire?
It was offered to me, and it was a meeting that I had with the producers and our showrunner, and we really just clicked a lot on the ideas that we wanted to share for the show.
And did you read any of the source material, or did you kind of just create this character based on what you were giving and your own spin on it?
No, I definitely read the first two books, and I felt it was very, very relatable for me, and it sort of helps kind of guide the show in a way, but we've made it our own for sure.
The cast seems to have so much fun on this series with Em, Savanna, and Mandela. How is it like working with those three?
They're great, and I think they add their own flavors to their show, and they are so awesome as people. The rest of our cast as well, we're such a close-knit group that it really does feel like you're just hanging out with your friends all day.
Reginald the Vampire, I appreciate because it's so much different from other vampire stories that we're used to. It's like we have to treat them serious. We can't be campy with it. We can't have fun with them. But Reginald kind of flips that. What do you appreciate the most out of this series?
I think I appreciate that the most as well. I love that we don't take ourselves too seriously. And I love that we are able to be dramatic and dark at times, but also turn back to being funny. And I think that gives us our uniqueness.
And without any spoilers, what can audiences expect from Reginald's growth this season?
Oh man, I guess we're really gonna see him really take on this idea of being the hero. I think he reluctantly is the hero in the first season, but he really takes this journey to become the hero in the second season for sure.
And how is it like having this on sci-fi as well, knowing like this is a platform that a lot of nerds go to, like it's been around for decades. So
Yeah,
having it on a TV broadcast like it is,
yeah.
how does that feel?
I think it's awesome, and I feel like again, nerd and geek culture is so great, and it's been a part of my career since Spider-Man. So I think I love the fan base a lot, and I'm really thankful to be a part of that. And I'm really having just the chance to be at like Comic Cons and stuff because of things like this is super awesome.
And how did your Comic Con experiences go for this? Because that had to be fascinating as well.
Yeah, for sure. I really, I myself am a fan of a lot of things, and I love like I just love seeing like everyone come out and really support like their favorite shows and favorite characters and whatnot for sure.
Yeah, and one of the things I like about Reginald is your Reginald and Sarah's relationship, because I think a lot of people can relate to a friendship like that. So, what
Yeah.
really speaks to you about their relationship through Reginald the Vampire?
I think it's a very sweet relationship that they have because it's because they're like so close as people and as friends that you would hope that they end up together in the end. And in this second season, it is a bit complicated for sure, but it's just like proof that not everything is perfect.
And Em was telling me about your chemistry read when you had that free Britney T-shirt on, and how she just instantly knew that you two were going to click. Did that feel the
Yeah.
same with you and Em with that
Yeah,
chemistry?
I definitely remember that day very vividly for sure, and I really don't know why I wore that Britney shirt, but I definitely do not regret it. Yeah, we've definitely had like a special connection for sure, and she's just a great person. I feel like all of us together, like the entire cast, we have such great chemistry together. Like every read that I did with everyone was just so amazing, and like seeing how talented they are and like watching them grow as actors has been really great.
And you've been in a lot of science fiction and genre projects as well over the past few years. So what gravitates you to the projects that you select?
Yeah. I think I just I like fantasy for sure, and I really enjoy stories that don't take themselves too seriously, and they were all just very interesting and funny and different type of movies.
And if you have any, what are some of your favorite horror movies?
Oh gosh, so my favorite horror. I mean, the ones that scare me the most are probably the first Insidious and
Oh, yeah.
the first Conjuring for sure. Definitely got me peeing in my pants. And but I think that's really it. Every movie after that just seems like a. Oh no, it is Conjuring, right? Where like the clapping and Hereditary. Hereditary as well. Yeah.
What do you want audiences to get out of the most of Reginald the Vampire this season?
I think people are going to come away thinking it's a lot more emotional, a lot more deep, and the storytelling is a lot more complex. But it's also just going to be a lot more action and definitely a lot more comedy as well.
And the chemistry between you and Mandela is just extraordinary. How was it like building that repertoire with him? And it almost feels like you two have become like brothers on the set as well.
Yeah, we absolutely are very close, and I would say he's like one of my closer friends. And it's just a relationship that I felt we wanted to make sure was really coming through, because it sort of like at the end of the day really does begin with them. And so we wanted to establish that relationship. And Mandela is such a talented actor. Like he can really play off of me really well, and I can play off of him. And I think us being two completely different kind of characters is just like such a funny pairing. So.
And what have you experienced on set that are some of your favorite memories so far?
Oh man, there's a few for sure. Oh gosh, there's like a lot of funny things that we do this season. We got to do a bit more stunts, so that was really fun. I also gosh, we also do a lot of like psychological things in the show this season, so that's really fun. So it's hard to say without spoiling anything.
Right, that is the most difficult thing, right?
Yeah.
And how is it like working with the directors on Reginald? Because everything is just so lined up perfectly. It's like everybody is, like you said, so close, and the directors seem to have so much fun as well.
Yeah, I think all our directors are just so good in their own way. They're all very talented, and they all sort of, again, we have the overarching, we have like the book, we have like the showrunner's book. So they all understood the assignment. They get like what needs to happen and like the tone of everything. And they're all just very smart and talented for sure.
And if you can discuss, what else do you have lined up?
Oh gosh, besides the Tarot movie, I'm currently filming this movie called Novocaine in South Africa, and I'm kind of just like waiting for other things down the line.
Well, Jacob, thank you so much for joining us at Infamous Horror. It's been real fun, and congratulations on all your stuff.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
So how did you get involved with Reginald the Vampire?
Ooh, I auditioned for it out of Vancouver, BC. I sent a tape. Everything is like virtual now, so I like did something in my living room, put it on an MP3 or MP4, is it? Yeah. And then sent it off. I did my chemistry read with Jacob too in my living room, which is like so weird. But he was wearing like a Free Britney t-shirt at the time. Have you heard of the Free Britney movement? Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna be friends with this guy. And we just like vibed, and that was it. And then we all met on set in Victoria.
And what do you like about your character the most when you're portraying Sarah?
Ooh, what do I like most about being Sarah? Well, she's always kind of up for like a little bit of a Josh with, Jacob, or sorry, not Jacob, Reginald. Sorry, I always do that. Yeah, I love their little like banter. I love that she's kind of like, she's also a bit of a badass too. You know what I mean? Like especially in this season, like she's really showing. Last season, she showed like her brother that she wasn't gonna take take that anymore from him and his family, and that whole Angel Call was not vibing. But this season, she like gets to be with the Scooby Gang a little bit more because she found out about Reggie. She knows about it. So it's like, yeah, I get up to some adventures this year. It's fun.
And Reginald the Vampire is a little bit different than most of the vampire stuff that's out.
Yeah.
So what do you really appreciate by being involved with this series as well?
Oh man, like the friends I've made, and like what a good vibe it is on set too. Like it's really fun to go to work. Like I love seeing, and then too, I think we're like finding our footing. We like kind of are getting the rhythm of the show and we're going deeper into our characters and like setting up these wacky experiences for them, and it's just so much fun. I love it so much.
And without giving any spoilers, what can the audience expect from your character's growth this season?
Okay, without saying too much, well, we're back at the shack and I may or may not obtain a sword.
Okay, interesting. And you also get to work with Mandela a lot on this series. So what is it like working with him as well?
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah. I think like the majority of my scenes are probably with Reggie or, people in the shack, but I think I got a couple scenes with Mandela last season, right? And then I think this season I get a few more. So yeah, it's great when we all get to play around and film. Yeah.
Well, Em, thank you so much for joining me on Miss Horror. It's been so much fun and congratulations.
Thank you.
So, Savanna, how did you get involved with Reginald the Vampire?
Oh, how did I get involved? I got a self-tape through my agent, and I did a self-tape, and then I did another self-tape, and then I did a call back, and that's how I got on the show.
And this series is so much fun. It's different than a lot of vampire films and series out right now. So, how do you have fun with your character, and what do you want audiences to get the most out of your character as well?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I find Reginald is very different. You find a lot of, I mean, I'm a huge vampire fan. I love vampires and I love horror in general. And so you're used to a lot of the brooding kind of vampires, unless you're into What We Do in the Shadows. Then you kind of have some fun in that one. So I'd say Reginald definitely leans more towards the comedic side. It has a little camp to it, which is really fun. I just love having fun with Angela. She's a very fun character to have to play. I love the fact that she's kind of morally ambiguous. I love playing kind of like the villains or characters that aren't always like the good guys, because I just feel like you can just have so much more fun with them. A lot of the time, sometimes I do have to wonder, like after a take, I'll be like, was that too mean? Like I have to like double check in and make sure I'm not being too mean with the character. But yeah, I just love having fun with her. And Angela's someone who you can either have fun with her or you can love to hate her, whichever it is. I just want people to just have fun with the character. I said fun a lot. I'm sorry.
And how is it like working with Mandela and Jacob on this? Because they are both phenomenal and you guys get to share a lot of screen time together. So how is it like working with them as well?
Oh yeah, it's great. It's great working with them. They definitely bring like a brotherly energy to set. So yeah, I have a lot of fun just kind of hanging out and being teased and teasing them, which is it's always a lot of fun. They're very chill people to be around. So,
and without any spoilers, what can we look forward to out of your character in season 2?
You can look forward to a little bit more mayhem. Angela definitely brings some chaos this season. You can also look forward to, I feel like this season we've definitely, Angela's walls have kind of come down and she's opened up a little bit more. She's reluctantly become a member of the team. But I think besides what she puts out there, like in the front, I think she really actually enjoys having a team again and having like a camaraderie and having like teammates and friends again. I think she kind of forgot what that was like to have people in her corner.
And one final question. What are some of your favorite horror movies or TV shows?
Oh, goodness. Dude, that's so hard. That is so hard. Every time someone asks me that, I kind of go blank, but let's see. Recently, I mean, I just saw The Omen in theaters, First Omen. I really enjoyed that. I thought it was very like giallo kind of, reminded me of Suspiria a lot. I think the last movie that kind of left me speechless, and I keep bringing this one up, but I just think it was so good, was When Evil Lurks. Not for the most like softest people, you know, it's very like in your face, but whoo, that one scene with the lights where he's flashing, it left me like, oh my God, like kind of, you know, like a Midsummer when she hits the pole, like that was the last time I think I was like really surprised by a movie. And so then when Evil Lurks came out, and they just really didn't, the scene with the dog, like they just did not pull any punches, and I really appreciated that. Yeah, so those are some recents. I think I'm like trying to think in my head. I also really love From and the show Evil, which is just kind of like a fun show to put on. I'm excited for season 3 of that show to come out too. So both of them actually, both of them have new seasons coming out. So that'll be fun to watch as well.
Well, Savanna, thank you so much for joining us at Infamous Horror. It's been so fun, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. It was so nice talking to you, AJ.